Got a major dust devil blowing through camp. Burning Man, when I first started to go to Burning Man, it looked like a big work camp to me. But eventually, I got out there and the week started to progress, and art cars and people and art, they brought their stuff out. And I just thought it was so far-fetched. And then it dawned on me, I was like, well, I guess it's okay to do this. I could go build and do whatever I want. I mean, it's so, as an artist, it kind of got me unblocked. Center stage, Burning Man, and Ram. What else sold me is that while I was walking around looking at structures, I saw this, round thing up on top of a pole, and I thought it was somebody's UFO. They built a UFO up on top of this pole. I was like, oh, that's cool. But later that night, I was standing near this pole. I didn't know I was, but I heard a bzzz of electricity and glanced over there. And it turned out, everyone started to converge on this UFO-looking thing, and it turned out to be a Tesla coil. And that was my first Tesla coil. So I watched this guy do a show, and everyone gathered. And it was one of those moments where the show was just buzzing, electricity's hitting the dirt and moving along, and it got really loud, and all of a sudden the Tesla coil was off, and everybody was watching was woo! It was one of those moments where you just made your socks go up and down. I believe I've been with Controlled Burn since 2000, 2001.
Near the beginning.
Yeah. I started as safety originally, so I did safety for about a whole year and did some choreography while I was doing the safety, and eventually jumped in the rest of the way. What drew me to Controlled Burn is I used to play footbag professionally, and I started to have some back issues and stuff, and so I wanted to do some exercises for my upper bodies stuff. So that's a part of it. The other part is that there's friends up there. There's people that go to Burning Man up in Reno, and there weren't people in Burning Man in Carson that I knew. So just to be around other burners, and I'd come up, and so I got familiar with Controlled Burn that way. And then Controlled Burn formed up and officially started a group, and so I was kind of in the beginnings of that. And that's kind of where it all started. I didn't think I'd still be hanging this long, but you come a long ways. Believe it or not, I enjoy the choreography. I like putting things together. It's a lot of work though, doing the choreography. It makes you better. After a couple years, it gets easier to do it, and you get better at herding cats, I guess, or communicating. And the resume for Controlled Burn is just giant. Starting with the Shiva Vista, 3 years of a giant stage that we built, where we made Burning Man headquarters see stages differently. our stage got used every single night from dark till 4 a.m. And there wasn't just one show and then it went dark the rest of the week. It was packed and people came from all over for it. So there's that. And we've done some big shows. We've done sold out the Nevada Museum of Art, made a record that year, control burn broke an attendance record, new sign-up record, and then followed a couple weeks later we did the Drum Dance and Didgeridoo Festival and did a park attendance record. And but the group dynamics changes and rotates, and there's some people that are still in the group, and some of us have made it past the overexcitement stage, and so we try to have less meltdowns. So this is a mutant vehicle called the Dancing Peacock, and this is full screen now, beautiful colors. I started building that in 1999 because I got stranded way over on the other side of the playa, and it was a long walk back to camp. And I remembered as a kid, a motorcycle I was once embarrassed to have was a 190. I said, man, I wish I had another 190, I'd get back to camp. So after Burning Man, I went out and bought a Honda 110, and I bought that, and then I wanted to do a rickshaw thing because I thought it would be cool to have passengers and stuff. So the only thing I had was a Harbor Freight trailer, and so I modeled that into a gazebo, and I towed that around with my 110 with I had it set up so it would work. And that lasted a couple years. The thing about mutant vehicles is when I first started, it was ran by the Black Rock Rangers, and Ranger Beavis saw my first motorcycle and mutant vehicle. I didn't even know I needed a license. I was just told to go there. He says, there's no decorations on it, there's no lights. I want to see things out there floating in the playa. I want to be able to look and see it way out there and just see the art way, and it's a beautiful thing, and I thought this guy's off his rocker too. And so I looked at the shape of my trailer, the gazebo that I had there, and I thought, well, I could put a peacock there, and on my motorcycle I could do a peahen. And so that turned out my first year to be the dancing peahen and peacock shuttle. DMV got formed and took it from the Rangers, and then so they every year continually asked me to make improvements, or they would not allow me to bring it back to the playa. And so after I did all of these improvements, I thought, well, geez, this is the best it could be. And then they say, well, you got to do this and that and this and that. And I said, well, I've been bringing it here for this many years. And they said, I'm thinking I'm a slam dunk. I said, well, why isn't it better? So there's still room for improvement. So I'm like, shucks. So anyways, every year I do improvements to my car, and it's helped me build stuff. I've gone through different mediums, and up to welding and doing CAD work and stuff like that to design this thing. So I do what I could afford to it. I've had small contributions, which has helped me buy lights for the Dancing Peacocks. So I can go on and on. So yeah, don't get started. Don't go to Burning Man.
It'll change your life.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody. One of my favorite memories from my first year at Burning Man, I was just walking around with a misting bottle, a weed sprayer that was brand new. Didn't ever have weed spray in there, but I was just walking around spraying people, and all of a sudden I hear this, all of these girls, going, yay, 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 yay. And I just happened to be on the street that the Critical Tits ride went through, and it was the first organized, I was like, never seen this. I was like, there's more. Anyways, I just was in the right spot at the right time, and I was spraying the girls as they were going by.